Men's Behavior Change Program, the ideal and the establishment of it is to prevent family violence, addressing family violence, and supporting the men who are using abusive and controlling behaviors towards partners, children, and other affected family members to take ownership of their abusive behaviors and promote change and become respectful, become more safe within their family. So our Men's Behavior Change Program got two messages that we will pass on, working directly with the men who are using abusive behaviors towards partners and children. The first one is promoting safety and respect for women and children. And secondly, for the men who are using abusive behaviors and denying women and children those rights, needs to take responsibility and promote change. I personally believe that there are a lot of underlying issues that can be addressed in order to see where the gap for the CALD community. As we know, they are culturally and linguistically diverse communities. Some of the challenges as a president I encountered with the board are the limitation of the English in terms of communication. People who have less capacity in terms of English are highly likely to have to not report the family violence or not to understand it. And there are other ones are service coordination. There are lack of service coordination between understanding what the role of, for example, child protection is, what the role of Major Rural City Council is, what the role of Victorian Police in terms of family violence units and so on. And advocacy is the other one. In terms of advocacy, the community leaders, the community within the wider community as well, the service coordination and the approach that needs to be alongside of the community to understand what are the most concerning issues within the community that their people are to understand. Not directly going to unpack the family violence because it might not be applicable or not having an understanding of it before we actually be able to identify it. And so there's a lot of various challenges within the community that can increase not addressing family violence. And if we really unpack the underlying issues, hopefully that would support the narrative of people becoming more independent, more aware, more educated, more informed to be able to report and say, no, that this is a family violence, this is gender inequality, I can report that or I can address that. It is very important to mark White Ribbon Day each year. One of the ideas is to update our pledges, to uphold the gender equality, to promote more gender equality, and to update our pledges and our awareness, our education capacity and awareness that we have within the community, that family violence is a huge issue that promotes gender inequality. And in order to do that, gender equality and promote that, we need to work together as a collective, as a community, and upholding the same law and having the memory of the lives that we have lost and prevent it from further happenings. There is no excuse for violence against anyone, especially against our beloved ones. With advocacy, with education, with support and acknowledgement of our own behaviors, taking ownership of our own behaviors, we can work together as a community, as a collective, and end family violence.